Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Chris Jackson. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at MSU Law. Today, we're going to be talking about the variety of clinics, the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation, and experiential learning here at MSU Law. With me today, I have Professor Carla Reyes, who's the Assistant Professor of Law and the Director of the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation. I also have Professor Veronica Thronson, who is a Clinical Professor of Law and is the Director of the Immigration Law Clinic. We have a special guest, one of our current students, TJ Ferguson, who participated in both a clinic and also is part of the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation. And so he'll be sharing his insights and experiences from that as well. Note that we will have the ability for you to do some question and answers at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to save up those questions so that they can be answered at the end. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. There's also going to be a recorded version of this on our website here in the next week or so for you to check out. So on our agenda today, we're going to talk about experiential learning requirements here at MSU. We're going to have an overview of the clinics and all the possibilities that come with that. We'll talk a little bit about internships and externships and what the difference between those are, and we'll also talk about the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation. So experiential learning at MSU Law, first and foremost, all students are required to do some sort of experiential learning. They have to complete at least 6 credit hours. Typically that's done through clinics or externships in order to graduate. And so as you can see here, variety of options when it comes to that for skills-based exercises, things like that. And so keep that in mind when it comes to that. And you'll hear all about the different clinics that we do have here at the law school here in a little bit. The importance of having that experiential learning is going to push you to really apply the theories that you're learning during law school in a practical setting. And so through that, you also get an opportunity to network with, faculty, coaches, practicing attorneys, so that you're really prepared to be able to be hired into the position you're wanting when you graduate. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Professor Thronson, who will talk a little bit about what clinics are.
Okay. Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Veronica Thronson, and I direct the clinical program here at MSU, in addition to directing the Immigration Law Clinic. And actually, the clinic is our law firm. The clinic is open to second and third year law students, and the idea is that the students are the attorneys on the cases. They are admitted to practice in Michigan pursuant to a local rule we have. And the students have actual clients and actual cases and are closely supervised by a faculty professor. One of the important things of the clinic is not only the close supervision that you have, but you actually get to practice law as an attorney. You are the one who does all of the client interviews, appearing in court with your client, representing your client in different issues. Another thing is that it gives you an opportunity to boost your resume and tell potential employers that you have actually practiced law and that you have written motions, that you have argued cases before the courts, and that's very important for employers nowadays. So we have 9 clinics right now at MSU. Animal welfare is one of our newest clinics. Chance at Childhood, which is a program that we have in conjunction with the School of Social Work. Civil rights, First Amendment, housing law, immigration, Indian law, intellectual property, and low-income taxpayers clinic. So all of the work that we provide at the clinic is pro bono, and one of the things that is important is that not only are the students learning how to be attorneys, but also are helping in the community. So we try to take cases from people who are not able to pay an attorney or who would otherwise not have an attorney if they didn't have the clinic helping them. And so we have different programs. The Chance at Childhood, the students actually do a lot of supervised visits, and they are assigned by the judges, the family or probate judges, to supervise visits in family law cases. The housing clinic, the students actually, even though we just started this week, the students have already appeared in court, because the idea is to be in court trying to prevent people from being evicted. And the tax clinic does a lot of work with the International Center trying to help students with their complex tax issues, in addition to helping with people who get tax bills and trying to negotiate with the IRS. The other clinics have different components of work, not only policy, but also representation. For example, with the immigration clinic, we are in court a lot, trying to prevent people from being deported. And we have our area of expertise is representing children who have been abused, abandoned, neglected, or trafficked, and also domestic violence victims.
Great, thank you. TJ, did you want to share some of your insights on what your experience was like in the clinic as a student?
Sure. So I was in the First Amendment Law Clinic, which essentially we're taught as law students how to kind of boil down principles of the First Amendment and then go out and actually teach them to high school students around Michigan. So I was actually placed up in Flint and did some teaching with some 9th and 10th graders up there, kind of the constitutional students, the journal students, and some history classes. And the idea here is kind of explain to them as students and as like student journalists what their rights are as far as copyright, as far as student media, what they can and can't do in schools, and what schools can and can't stop them from doing, and kind of discussing the constitutional applications of what they're doing as a student journalist. It's a decent amount of work, but it was very rewarding, and it actually forces you to learn the material to the point that you can explain it to a 5-year-old, because you're teaching students who don't have the same mental capacity as you do as a college student.
Great. Yeah, I had quite a few classmates who did the variety of clinics here at the law school, and they really enjoyed it. They'll talk about their experiences even after all these years from graduation, and how it really made them be better attorneys in practice because of the skill sets that they were able to learn. So I highly recommend participating in a clinic to help fulfill that experiential learning requirement. That being said, one of the other ways you can fulfill your experiential learning requirement is through internships and externships. And so a lot of students will ask us here in the admissions office, what's the difference between internship and externship? And fundamentally, with externships, you are earning credit for that. Internships, you're not earning credit. So for those externships, you're actually enrolled in a course as part of that, and you are required to do additional aspects to earn that credit in addition to the actual externship on site. So you will have written materials you have to submit throughout the semester. You will have work products you're going to have to provide, obviously redacted of any confidential information at the end of the semester as part of that. And you also have an essay that you have to write at the end talking about your experience and what you've learned through that. Externships you can do for a variety of different entities. So you can be in nonprofit organizations, in the judiciary, other governmental entities like state agencies, corporations, and select law firms. Internships, you have a variety with those, and also really any law firm you'd want to do. I myself as a student did an externship for the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development here in Lansing, and I was there for a semester in the fall semester, and then in the winter semester they actually had me come back as an internship. So one semester I earned credit, one I did not. So many of our students do externships and internships, whether it's during the semester or during the summer, to help fulfill that requirement. I'll point out again, we have a minimum of 6 credit hours, but many of our students do substantially more than that for experiential learning. So that's something to think about if you choose to do a clinic and an externship. It's definitely a possibility, and I would highly recommend doing something like that. So moving on from internships and externships, we're going to talk about the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation. So I'm going to pass it on to Professor Reyes.
Hi, I'm Carla Reyes. I'm an assistant professor of law here teaching business law and law and technology courses, and I direct the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation. The Center for Law and Technology and Innovation has been around really since 2012 in various forms, first as Reinvent Law and then Legal R&D. The goal at the most broad level is twofold, really. One, to build things that help increase access to justice initiatives here in Michigan, but also more broadly, and to provide students with opportunities to work closely with clients in sort of entrepreneurship space. And that might involve legal technology, it might involve technology, it might not, but to have opportunities to advise clients more on a transactional side of entrepreneurial business. So the center has three components: the legal R&D lab, which is where we do focus on building tools to help provide avenues for greater access to justice, with a focus on doing so through new legal technology. So we're working to build legal technologies that can help advance that goal. The second is the Innovation Hub, which is where the emphasis is on providing students opportunities to work alongside or with or in collaboration with entrepreneurial clients. So that might be students from Spartan Innovations across campus, so MSU students who are building a startup company while they're in school. It might be local entrepreneurs, but the idea is to sort of inverse what we're doing on the legal technology side and provide opportunities for students to think about how the law applies to a client's product, which often involves technology. And then the third piece is the research node, which is where we have students working to build research reports on issues related to emerging technology for local members of the bar. Go back. Yeah, don't go too far. I think there's an introduction. For local members of the bar. Right now, though, we're just working really on identifying what that first topic might be. But to talk about the legal R&D lab specifically, you may have heard of the T-shaped lawyer, which was a phrase that an alum of MSU Law coined. The idea is that students need to both, in today's sort of legal landscape, both have an area of expertise, which is the sort of the drill down, the vertical part of the T, but they also should have a variety of skills that may be only tangentially related to law, which is the top of the T. So business acumen, networking skills, professionalism skills, etc. So Legal R&D Lab works both to help build tools, as I've described, to help increase access to justice, but also to provide students opportunities to build those other skills. So maybe that's using legal technology in your doctrinal classes, right? Maybe that's providing access to legal technology like billing software throughout your time in the law school. The courses that we offer, we have a curriculum for the Center for Law, Technology, and Innovation, and the ones that pertain particularly to the Legal R&D Lab include, at least the ones that were offered this year, include entrepreneurial lawyering, delivery of legal services, e-discovery, and evolutionary analysis in the law. We also have strategic partnerships that students can work with. So we're a member of the Global Legal Blockchain Consortium, which particularly tries to use blockchain technology to build legal tools. We are a member of IFLIT, the Institute for Future Law Practice, which is a summer boot camp and internship program that happens over the summer. It's available to both 1Ls and 2Ls. We currently have 7 students working their way through the application process to be matched with employers for this summer. And then we are pursuing a relationship with iCoder, which is, I don't remember what the acronym stands for exactly, but it is looking at international commercial arbitration and ways to do that through through electronically, right, through technology, and trying to build standards for such things. With regard to the Innovation Hub, with regard to the Innovation Hub focuses on the vertical part of the T-shaped lawyer, right? Working to make sure students have the substantive law that they need in order to advise clients in a technology-driven economy. So we are working to collaborate with Spartan Innovations to provide externship opportunities to advise the clients in their incubator program. We are working to build our own pre-accelerator program with the goal of sort of hosting legal technology companies, but technology startups more broadly as well, to help them move along to where they would enter an incubator themselves or seek venture capital funding. And then the courses that pertain to this area of the center include artificial intelligence law, which I just taught in the fall, technology transaction skills, which is happening right now. That course revolves around a hypothetical client, a cryptocurrency company, and we take their hypothetical product from idea to launch. Autonomous vehicles is being offered right now, and last fall we had an IP and entrepreneurship clinic as well. With regard to the research node, as I mentioned, we're working to build small research reports about the fields of emerging technology and how they interact with the law, with the goal of helping practitioners who are encountering these things in practice and may not have the time to sort of study the field the way that we have the luxury of doing in law school. Additionally, we're working to participate sort of campus-wide with initiatives around emerging technology. So we had a campus-wide blockchain course last fall that law students were able to enroll in, and that two of our law professors here taught in, an alum taught in that course as well. And we have a couple of other sort of campus-wide initiatives, building a relationship in particular with the business school, which, as I told my students in business enterprises yesterday, I often refer to the client school, because many of your clients go to the business college. Again, courses for this area of the center include artificial intelligence, tech trans, autonomous vehicles, and we have proposals in the wings for a blockchain law and policy sort of law school specific course, and then the year after for a smart contracts for lawyers course. The other thing the research node works to do is to provide law students the opportunity to network with the broader field of scholars and practitioners in emerging technology law practices. And so we'll be hosting 1 to 2 conferences a year on an area of emerging technology. The one planned for this year would surround around blockchain technology with the Coalition of Automated Legal Applications happening later this spring. If you have questions, we're happy to answer them, but also just you can stay engaged with us more directly by following us on Twitter. And we also have a public Slack channel that you're welcome to join and ask questions of the other students who are involved in the center, of myself, etc.
Great. And one thing I can say is when I was at my firm, actually, we worked with the center on a project to increase efficiencies in legal service delivery. So it was really a great experience to work with students from the law school for 2 semesters on that, and really try to strive to provide as much service delivery as we could with fundamentally reduced resources that we were receiving for service delivery. So some really great stuff. TJ, did you want to add anything about your experience with it?
Sure. So it's funny, actually. My final decision to come to MSU Law actually kind of fell on legal R&D. It was the opportunities offered through this program that actually kind of convinced me to make MSU my law school home, if you will. So I've been involved with it for the past 2.5 years now. I'm a 3rd year currently, and I've had tons of great experiences. I've networked with huge individuals in this space. I've met executives from Microsoft. I've met big name law professors out of Stanford. I've had hands-on training in project management and design thinking, Lean Six Sigma, which sounds very fancy and confusing, but it's all very useful in the practical application. I also had the opportunity through legal R&D to attend iFlip this past summer, which was a great, fantastic kind of a 3-week boot camp that just kind of forces you to focus and learn and kind of soak up and absorb a bunch of information across not just the legal field, but also business in general, on how executives' minds think to kind of help you fix their processes, make them more efficient, save them money, and therefore create a space and a value in yourself as the attorney or the individual who can do this for these individuals. The classes are top notch. I mean, MSU Law is recognized because of the kind of classes we offer here through this program. Automated vehicle law is huge, especially currently. We have a great professor who's teaching this, Nick Whitner, who actually has experience working in-house with GM as well as Nissan. He's very well known in the area and is very knowledgeable. And across the board, I mean, having Professor Reyes here, who is known very well in the blockchain field for a lot of the work that she has done, has been just fantastic for coming in and helping kind of ramp up the program and allowing us kind of more range of motion with this research and things that we can do. So likewise, I mean, I can be found on Twitter as well. I'm usually bounced around the legal R&D page as well. You'll find me here and there, so feel free to reach out with any questions you have.
Great, thank you so much. So with that, that kind of wraps up the presentation. Our contact info is up here for our office. But with that being said, now's a great time. If you want to go ahead and hit the Q&A box, you can go ahead and type in some information or questions you might have for us, and we can try to get those answered on anything we've talked about today. So I'll just give you a few minutes to do that. As we wait for that, I'll also pull up our schedule of upcoming webinars for the rest of the winter semester. So those are pulled up there too as you're typing in your questions. You can register for those directly on our website. There's definitely some great information coming up on different topics and programs here at the law school. So if anybody has any questions, we'd love to get them answered. So I'll just give you a minute real quick. Anybody else have anything you wanted to add as we wait for any questions to come in? I know we talked about a lot of stuff today, but okay. So if anybody has any questions, just please feel free to type them in. If not, you can definitely follow up in private as well via email or give us a call here in the admissions office. All right, well, it doesn't look like anybody has any questions today. So with that, I just want to go ahead and say thank you for everybody for participating. I really appreciate it, so thank you. And if anybody does have any questions, please feel free to let us know. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our presentation today. Thank you.